For centuries, the fate of the Library of Alexandria has haunted the imagination of scholars, storytellers, and seekers of lost wisdom. Legends swirl around its destruction, portraying a single apocalyptic blaze that consumed half of human knowledge in one night. But as we peel back the layers of myth and legend, we discover a tale far more intricate, more unsettling, and ultimately more revealing about the fragility of human achievement. Step back in time to the bustling streets and marble halls of ancient Alexandria. This was not merely a library, it was the first true laboratory of human intellect, a crucible where the greatest minds assembled to push the boundaries of science, philosophy, and art. Established around 295 BCE by Ptolemy I, the city's ruler and one of Alexander the Great's most trusted generals, the library was envisioned as the nexus of all world knowledge. Its ambition was staggering: to accumulate every written text, every map, every scientific treatise, and every poem that humanity had produced. Within these walls, luminaries like Archimedes, Euclid, and Eratosthenes advanced mathematics, astronomy, and geography far beyond what anyone thought possible. Archimedes is said to have calculated the circumference of the Earth with astonishing accuracy. Euclid's Elements, one of history's most influential mathematical works, was refined here. Eratosthenes mapped the world, merging data from Africa, Asia, and Europe into a vision of interconnected continents. The library housed the epic poetry of Homer, the wisdom of Aristotle, and the drama of Sophocles and Euripides. The sheer scale of its ambition defies comprehension. Hundreds of thousands of scrolls, perhaps as many as 700,000 by some ancient accounts. But here the narrative begins to fracture. The popular story tells of a single fiery calamity, sometimes blamed on Julius Caesar, sometimes on Christian fanatics, sometimes on Arab conquerors, erasing everything in an instant. Yet the reality, as revealed by meticulous archaeological and historical investigation, is far more complex. The library's fate was not sealed by one dramatic event, but by a slow, agonizing erosion. There were not one, but two major libraries in Alexandria: the original library attached to the museum, and the Serapeum, a secondary repository located in a different part of the city. Over time, these centers became conflated in the collective memory, their histories tangled together. By the time Julius Caesar arrived in 48 BCE, the original library was already suffering from decades of decline. Economic hardship, political instability, and the waning interest of Egypt's rulers had starved it of resources. Great minds drifted away, seeking patronage in other cities like Pergamon and Rhodes. The first blow came not from an enemy's torch, but from a military accident. During Caesar's siege of Alexandria, a fire intended to block the Egyptian fleet spread to nearby warehouses, some of which reportedly contained scrolls. Ancient sources conflict on the magnitude of the loss. Some claim substantial damage. Others suggest that only duplicate copies were destroyed. What is clear is that the library's glory was already fading. Over the next centuries, the decline accelerated. As the Romans consolidated their grip on Egypt, the tradition of active manuscript collection withered. The museum, once a vibrant center of research and discussion, became a shadow of its former self, a dusty archive, neglected and rarely visited. The infrastructure that had made Alexandria the intellectual heart of the ancient world crumbled, not with a bang, but with a whisper. A second wave of destruction occurred in 391 CE, when Emperor Theodosius I ordered the eradication of pagan temples. The Serapeum, a sanctuary of learning, was razed amidst religious conflict. But by this time, the original library had already lost its purpose. The torch of knowledge had been passed, but the flame was flickering. The deeper mystery emerges as we examine the scope of what was truly lost. Recent scholarship suggests that the library's reputation may have outgrown its reality. While it was undoubtedly a monumental achievement, many lost works were also preserved in other libraries across the ancient world. Manuscripts of Aristotle, Sophocles, and other luminaries survived in places like Pergamon, Rome, and Antioch. Alexandria was not the sole guardian of civilization's heritage. So why, then, did so much ancient knowledge vanish? The answer is both humbling and alarming. The destruction was not sudden, but systematic. As empires collapsed, the economic and social systems that sustained scholarship broke down. Papyrus became scarce and expensive, skilled scribes ever more rare. The luxury of copying and preserving texts was abandoned, first by necessity, then by neglect. The rise of Christianity, often scapegoated as the destroyer of pagan wisdom, played a subtler role. Rather than burning the ancient texts en masse, Christian institutions simply stopped copying them. Scrolls wore out, decayed, and disappeared, often without anyone noticing. Knowledge was lost not through violence, but through indifference. The Islamic conquest of Alexandria in 641 CE, frequently cited as the final blow, is now regarded by historians as largely mythic. The dramatic stories of Caliph Omar ordering scrolls burned to heat the baths were written centuries after the supposed event, and lack credible evidence. The reality is that by the 7th century, the Great Library was already a memory. Beneath the sands and waves of modern Alexandria, tantalizing clues remain. Archaeological digs have uncovered lecture halls, fragments of scientific instruments, and hints of a sprawling academic complex. Ground-penetrating radar and underwater exploration have revealed lost districts, submerged by earthquakes and rising seas. Some researchers believe that parts of the ancient libraries may still lie hidden, waiting for discovery. The physical traces suggest a gradual abandonment, rooms left empty, scrolls crumbling as the city's fortunes declined. The tragedy of Alexandria is not unique. Across the ancient world, libraries in Pergamon, Rome, and Antioch followed the same path of slow decay. The infrastructure that supported scholarship was delicate, dependent on political stability, economic resources, and cultural priorities. When these foundations failed, knowledge slipped away, irretrievable. Modern estimates are sobering. Only about 10% of Greek literature and a mere 1% of Latin literature has survived. The loss was not due to a single inferno, but to a civilization-wide failure to preserve its own achievements. Scrolls containing the insights of geniuses, mathematical proofs, astronomical observations, philosophical debates, rotted in forgotten corners, sacrificed to changing times and shifting values. Today, technology offers hope. Imaging techniques can read charred papyrus from the ruins of Pompeii. AI reconstructs fragmented texts. Underwater archaeology continues to probe the depths of Alexandria's harbor. Yet the warning lingers. In the digital age, we produce unimaginable quantities of information. But our storage systems are vulnerable, formats obsolete, servers ephemeral. Are we repeating the mistakes of the ancients, building a new Alexandria that could vanish with a power outage or a forgotten password? The story of thee is not just about loss. It is a testament to human ambition, the drive to gather and understand, to push the boundaries of what is possible. Its true lesson is both ancient and urgent. Knowledge survives only through active preservation, through the conscious effort of each generation. The library did not die in flames. It died from neglect. As we search for lost scrolls, decipher ancient fragments, and explore the ruins beneath the Mediterranean waves, we are reminded of the complexity and fragility of human achievement. The mysteries of Alexandria endure, challenging us to ask not just what was lost, but what we are willing to save. Each discovery is a call to action, a plea from the past to value, protect, and pass on the legacy of human knowledge before it slips away once more.